Good morning, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. Just a few things. Number one, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, love to have you on board. It's been an incredible journey, and every day I am so grateful for what I've got and where I am. I couldn't be more thankful for the journey that I'm on. Reminders. Today I go live on YouTube for Super Chat at midday, 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, if you want to join me for Super Chat. I think that's all I really need to talk about at the moment. It seems pretty sad that we're still in lockdown. We have at least another 4 weeks left. Australia madly trying to, now they're paying people to get vaccinations, trying to get everybody vaccinated. Which is fantastic, but it means we're still in lockdown until we get a little bit more of our population safe. Okay, what else? I'm using the Albano Rider-Waite Tarot for this reading. I always feel like I've missed something. I will have a quick, because a lot of people email me about what sort of readings I provide. If you really want to have a look, you can check out the shop option on my website at www.theaussiegoddess.com. You can purchase via the website, which is has PayPal as a payment system. I've been looking into a booking system, but I have to have something obviously that books for overseas as well, so that may be a little bit of a challenge. So we'll see how we go with that. I'm still working on some of those things. They're the more complicated things that I'd rather not think about, but still a work in progress, I guess. But anyway, thank you for those who have come to me for a personal reading. It's been very busy but very beautiful to be able to provide you with some insight into your lives. All right, let's see where we're going with this reading. Wow, okay, good way to start the day. This seems to be my week this week with these epiphany wake-up calls. I don't know what it is, why you have to wait until sort of something hits you and then you go, wow, like, I'm not a silly person. I have a reasonably good brain in my head, and I think, oh, why have I been so sleepy for such a long time in terms of waking up to what things really mean. So it's always been a gradual awakening for me. I've been doing it for so many years. The depths just get deeper, the epiphanies get more enlightening, I guess, and there is so much more to be gained from really understanding who you are. So I guess this is what they're talking about when they say that you start to remember things from your past lives. It really is a very incredible journey. So when the tower comes around, and I know a lot of people sort of shrug at this because some people sort of make it look like it's something terribly, vastly bad. None of the tarot cards are bad. None of them are there for advice. None of them are there for warnings. They just are. They're information to help you on your pathway. The Tower is a card alongside the Death and the Devil card that has people squirming in their seats, and I'm like, it is not like that at all. Yes, it can mean that there's some sort of physical change for you, but it's generally putting you in a position to rebuild for something better. So when the Tower comes in, it can be a breaking down of your old ideas. It can be challenging you on something that you've been doing, which sort of gives you that epiphany or wake-up call to make the changes yourself. Sometimes the Tower comes through when, and people start saying it to me now, so I know I've had a big impression on that one on my readings, in my readings. I have people say to me now, I knew I was supposed to do this. I knew I was. I kept getting the messages to do it, but I didn't listen, and then in came the Tower. And that's what I say. The Tower is there because Spirit has been sending you messages, giving you some heads up on what you need to change, but you haven't really been aware or taking note of what's been going on. I mean, how many times do you stop and you go, I knew that would happen? And that's because you're not always tuned into those little messages that come from your higher self before things start to erupt like the tower. So very often it's you've built something on a faulty foundation. There's been some sort of realization that you've done things in a way that hasn't served you. It's time now to rethink the way you've been doing things and do things in a very different way. Okay, oh, I love that energy. How awesome is that? So it's like you've been trying to or you've been waiting for perhaps something to materialize. Perhaps you've been waiting, perhaps something is your greatest wish to see something materialize. But perhaps it can't materialize until you change the way you think about it. So maybe the wish or the very thing, this is where the tower sort of makes me feel that's taken a while to get here, because what it feels like to me is almost like you've been wishing for something and something is about to be presented to you. That is a wish come true, but it's going to look very different to what you thought it was going to look. And that is the energy that's coming across really strongly here. And it's always that, you know, I know we go, ooh, be careful what you wish for, but it sort of is that way. You know, the universe seems to know better than us at many, many things. But it's sort of like this energy of something being presented to you that's going to be a little bit of a shock, but actually it's what you asked for here. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles. So for some of you, it may be in regards to a job. Maybe the Tower is something that says the job that you've had is no longer going to be there. You have to sort of move on to something new with that Nine of Cups. Maybe it's something you asked for. But what that says to me is whatever it is that you're moving on to is going to be fantastic and it's going to be a dream for you. But maybe having that tower there says that the disappointment because you don't have the job you have. So when the Three of Pentacles comes through, it does talk about working with people on projects. For me, it talks about contracted agreements. And more deeply, depending on what sort of cards are around, it very much talks to me about soul contracts. So contracts you made with people before you came to the planet. And it may be that you have what I would see as a soul contract with someone, believing that things would work a certain way. But I feel with the Tower, you're not getting the outcome you thought. Look, karma. Okay, so some sort of event is about to take place in your life. I feel like as much as it doesn't look like what you wanted, at the end of the day, it's going to be absolutely perfect for you. I feel you have some sort of agreement, contract, before life contract, I want to say here, that is part of your karmic journey, and it has to do with love here. But there had to be some sort of change in your thinking, change in the way you did something, change in your understanding of something before this event could take place. Now, I see that that is to do with love. A lot of us are starting to understand love in a very different way to what we were taught, because a lot of us believe in this idea of the romantic love rather than the more substantial, true love that we feel for people. And we've been a little blindsided by that romanticism. There is nothing wrong with it. Shakespeare got it so right. There is nothing wrong with it, but it's about seeing it for what it is. And there is a lot of people who are going through understanding rejection, attachment, abandonment issues. And it's very, very big, very big. So I know that that is part of my mission, is to help you get through that so you have a greater understanding of what love means. But the healing that comes as a part of this is so important to you to help you rebuild yourself. So there's definitely something to do with love here and the illusion of love. Beautifully, beautifully put forward by Spirit. The idea around what you see love as is purely subjective. It's how you see it. And sometimes how you see something may not be how it actually is. But understanding that at a deeper level will bring you greater rewards than what you were getting before. So for a lot of people who are, especially for those on the twin flame journey, the idea of attachment, rejection and abandonment are very, very potent at this time. Understanding those concepts helps you to understand how you've got into an attachment with someone else. What you have to understand is the other person is feeling that too. But it's not true love. It's not pure love. It's the attachment that needs to be, it almost needs to be destroyed. We have learned to love people in a very different way on the planet because of our social constructs. And the universe is teaching us what pure love means, what true love means, without the attachment. So let's see where you're going here. Wow, this is hugely deep. Oh my goodness gracious, what a beautiful reading. So we are learning here to stand in the truth of who we are. This means putting aside all of the social constructs and the things we have learned along the way. So the pain of rejection, the pain of trauma, all those things connected with the idea of love are being sort of moved aside, so you can understand how to love from the purity of your heart without what I see as base emotions. So without jealousy, without possessiveness, and being able to forgive for the pain, but being able to heal yourself through that, not blaming others for your pain. When you stand in your truth, it's being true to who you are as your person. This is about putting some of those needs, desires, expectations on other people aside and understanding that the responsibility to heal lies within us. All of those things is what we are taught from young children. And we are certainly taught to romanticize love. You only have to look at the fairy tales to see that. But, you know, the idea that love is an illusion, it is an idea or a concept that we are taught, and for each and every one of us, it's a very different experience. But if we can put aside some of the teachings and learn to understand that love is a feeling that we create within ourselves, it has nothing to do with the other person. The other person is not to blame. The other person doesn't hold that responsibility. It's ours and ours alone. So somebody else cannot satisfy that within us. So I guess it really comes down to this idea of ownership, responsibility. So with the Ace of Swords, it's telling me you are learning to stand in your truth. Isn't that beautiful energy? And I see other people talking about it at the moment. So I feel Richard Grannon's been on I love Richard Grannon. He's been on a real journey with this as well. So I feel that many of us are seeing some of these social constructs now for what they are. And I feel that Spirit is delivering, or your higher self, whatever you believe as your universal support, is showing you now what this means to you. And the love of the self is the most important thing. But I feel like people are starting to understand that. I remember being taught to love myself when I was much younger, and I used to think that was just wrong on so many levels. Oh my goodness, look at myself in the mirror and tell myself I loved myself. Ugh, I thought that was hideous. How can I ever do that? And now I comfortably look at myself in the mirror. I know who I am. I know the person standing in front of me is exactly who I know I am. So for me, that has changed a lot of ideas around me. But, you know, we are taught things in life like, loving yourself is conceited, loving yourself is selfish. But all of those things serve other people. They do not serve you. So when you get to that point when you can look in the mirror and quite comfortably know how much or how deep the level of love is for yourself, then you know you are well and truly on the journey. All right, so what I see here, there is a journey here. I do feel that somebody is trying to make some sort of decision at the moment about the direction they go in. It's a journey that takes us through great ups and great downs. There are times when we feel that it is a very complex battle for us. I always say to people when they're starting to awaken, and I do readings, and I say quite clearly, this will be it for you. You will never go back to the way things were. You cannot welcome back in the old version of you. You will understand that once you get on the journey, because the old version of you was depleted, feeling like there was no answers, feeling like there was no way out. For some of you, this is that feeling of, is this it? Is this what I'm doing? Is this all my life is going to be? We've all had those moments. We've all had those real dark times, those real down times. None of us are any different. We just experience or talk about it differently. You know, depression is something that we are taught is shameful. It's not something that you tell other people about. It's something you hide away from the world. Other people are quite comfortable in talking about it, which is a really good place to be. But then it makes other people uncomfortable hearing people talk about their own sadness. So we still have a long way to go with understanding that this is a normal part of the process, this feeling down, this feeling up, these days where we feel good, the days where we don't feel so good. But there is some sort of decision coming in here, and I feel like that the decision you're making here is to trust your own devices, to trust your own spirit guides, to trust whoever is leading you on this journey. And it's different for all of us. We all have a different way of interpreting the energies that spirit sends through. So whatever this is, it's like finding your own religion. It's choosing to stand in this truth of who you are. It's like opening the window and just sort of getting that little breeze of fresh air. And it feels so good. You know, in summer when you get that little smell of summer coming through the window, and it just lights up your body. That smell of summer. I mean, that's my thing, I guess. But that's what it feels like to me, like you're just making some sort of choice here. You're getting off the fence and you're making some sort of choice here to accept this is part of the journey. All the ups and downs will lead you to the truth. All right, so we have the Hanged Man, quite beautifully put there, which is lovely. Look at this. So much universe coming through this morning. Okay, so what we have here is some sort of change in the way you're seeing your world. Again, it comes down to this, the time is right. It's like the universe is saying, I don't know how many of you out there at the moment are receiving these messages, these downloads. I would imagine, you know, there's a fair whack of you getting them, but whether or not you're able to interpret them the same way as others, I always feel that sometimes it's that whole, you know, if you've done studying or you've done, I'm trying to think of an example, maybe in high school, where you were given a poem or a reading, a book, or even sometimes a movie, I guess, where you were asked to understand the deeper concepts. And sometimes I remember getting these really deep academic, I think it was when I was doing psychology, but it could be sociology, where you get these really deep academic articles that people have written, and you're asked to analyze them and come up with the main points or whatever. And I would sit there and sometimes I would read the article like 100 times, trying to understand the concept within that, or even someone's paradigm or someone's way of thinking, and I would be really strung out trying to understand the deeper meaning behind it. And I remember when it finally came to me how to do that, how to really understand what the deeper meaning was to that particular article, whatever else. It didn't come through me studying. It didn't come through all the hours of reading through it time and time again, getting frustrated and upset with myself because I couldn't get what they were talking about. What it came from was somebody talking to me. It was like I'd get on those things and I'd say on the chat rooms, you know, I'm really having trouble with the article, I don't understand this, and somebody would say, neither do I. So 3 or 4 of us would get into a chat about it. And through the talking to each other, I would have those epiphanies where I go, oh, I get it now. I understand this concept. I understand this paradigm. I really understand what the person was trying to say. And because of that, I absolutely zoomed through an exam. I really excelled. So I feel like sometimes we are being shown these things, but they don't make a whole lot of sense to us at the moment. And I want to say to you, if it doesn't make sense, that's fine, because it will fall into place when it's ready. But it's sort of that whole idea of when you're ready, the teacher comes. So it's sort of like when you are in the place where you can take on the understanding, something will be there to show you how to do that. And I feel like this is what the universe is saying here. Somebody is coming in here to show you how to put it all together. So it's like you have all the information now, you have all the downloads now, you have to create a program. So it's on its way to you here. All right, could be via a Cancer, Pisces or Scorpio person here. We have the Fool card, so there's some new beginning coming from this. Okay. I feel really strongly here that somebody's going to just give you a little bit of a kickstart on your journey. And I've been feeling this sort of energy for a while now. It's like somebody else here holds an answer for you. But maybe because you're in this Hanged Man energy trying to digest what you have been shown, you may not be quite ready to understand how to put the adventure together. So somebody is coming in to help you do that. Now I feel like whoever this person is has been through their own journey here with the Five of Pentacles. So they have done the ups and downs. So it could be somebody here. I feel strongly it could be a mother figure. But I feel whoever this person is has some sort of love for you here. So we're not talking about a stranger on the street. We're talking about somebody who has a deeper level of love. They're coming in to show you something here, which is going to help you move forward. So there's some sort of epiphany here that's going to help you reach a dream come true. You have some sort of contracted agreement as part of your karmic journey in regards to love. So it could be somebody that you're in love with. It could be somebody who's in love with you. I'm sort of feeling a bit real funny now with the whole in love thing. This person has what I would see love for you. Whoever they are, there's a level of love here. So it's either somebody who knows you or related to you, friends with you. This is a person who's close to you who's going to help you understand this concept. They're going to help you because the universe is sending them in here. They're going to help you to understand and put some sort of burden down. And I feel like here you're going to understand the truth of that burden. It's coming through very, very loud and clear here that you are going to understand this burden. Does that mean there will be more healing here? Absolutely. Because once you let go of this, once you realize what this means to you, it's going to allow you to take a new direction on your journey. Oh, wow. Okay. For all of you people wrote to me the other day and said the owl is my spirit animal. He is back. All right, let's have a look what the owl's got to say. The owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity, more so when it is dark, and is able to discern truth when others are sightless. She helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life and to embrace the night as your ally. Owl can bring you messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of your ancestors and you may acquire their wisdom and make it your own. Oh my goodness, right on par with me this morning. Look around you, notice every detail and find the hidden messages brought to you by Owl. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. There it is. Boom. Observe all the facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often the mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass. So I really feel like here, this is somebody, it may be a friend then. It could be somebody around you who's going to help you see a truth. You may not want to see it, but it may be that you don't or you haven't understood it up until now. This truth you're about to hear is going to help you to become who you are. It's sort of like letting that little ray of sunshine in through the door, which is going to help you with these sort of not understanding your direction, not understanding who you are. Maybe it's different for all of you, but definitely somebody opening the door just a little so you can understand the journey. What a beautiful reading. Thank you.